go back to paragliding.
Just go back to his page and it'll take you right to the new one, the new live stream.
All right. We're live now, so let me just see.
So, you know, Robert, I am deep in the hills of West Virginia tonight.
Nice.
I'm going to put a little notice in the chat.
Okay, here we are. Yeah, so we're live. I'm going to share the link. Yeah, if you guys can share the link, that'd be fantastic until Zoom gets their stuff together.
Well, it says live in 60 seconds on. Is it not going to go?
No. And so if you guys have that open for the chat, drop that link in there for everybody who's logging in.
Where's the link?
Right here. I'll actually put it in this chat. Here we go. Yeah, sorry if you're just logging in. We're having some issues with the Zoom is not connecting properly to YouTube. So welcome, by the way, to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michiels. We're still waiting for Brad Gunnuscio to log in. We're having some technical difficulties. So having that said, we are figuring things out here. You're joined tonight, by the way, by Sean Nafsker and Nick is with us, Craig Taylor and Anthony Peregringo. They're moderating. I can't see the chat. Okay, it looks like people are starting to log in now. Apologize ahead of time for the confusion. You're supposed to be able to just click one deal and it gives me a bunch of options. And then I put those options in. For whatever reason, Zoom is just freaking out and it's just, instead of giving me options, it's sending me to an old video from back in May. And it just opens up the video and starts playing it on YouTube. So there's a glitch in the matrix, but we're getting this together now. Real quick, want to just say thank you for all the sponsors. Two sponsors in particular I want to mention, ppgswag.com. Darren Green has a bunch of cool shirts. Go check out his website, PPG Smoke. He's got a bunch of new stuff coming out, and I want to encourage you to go check out his new shirts. If you haven't gone over there, check out the website, ppgsmoke.com. That's all the chase cams, floats, lamels, all kinds of cool stuff for your paramotoring stuff. Go check that out. And then also we have a sponsor, paramotorprops.com. Paramotor Props, they have a really good deal on props. So if you blow one up, go to check out their website. If you need to get one, they ship them out really fast. They're a seamless service and a really good company, and it's run by some good friends. So go check that out. We'll talk a little bit more about those in a minute. Paraorangeproducts.com is the website if you want to look at some really good paramotoring and paragliding gear and stuff to protect your gear. And so that's all for the sponsors. Now we'll talk a little bit later. You guys are all logging in as we speak. Looks like 20 people have made the jump over, so I'm glad that you're here. If you're in the chat, your name's getting written down and we're putting your information in a wheel. It used to be a hat. Sean used to remember when you used to write the names down and put it in the hat?
That was old school, man. That was old school. And then we got so many names that I had extra paper all over my room for like weeks. It's crazy.
Well, I won one of those out of the old hat.
What'd you win?
The Lori Kadakis's record-breaking gloves.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was like a year ago, over a year ago.
Yeah.
Just trying to log in right now. All right. Crazy Uncle Bob coming right out of the gate with some super chat money. Thanks, Crazy Uncle Bob. Appreciate you. I do want to say thank you for all those who contributed to Shawns Camera. Got that for him. So we're going to be shipping that out. I was waiting for something else to come in the mail because I ordered a handful of things together and everything finally came in. So now I'm going to be able to send that. Sean will be able to make videos very soon. I'll have to ship that out with the I think it has to go ground because of the little batteries in there. I could be wrong, but I'll tell the postman it's fine. Just
Yeah.
ship it in the air. It should be fine. A little tiny GoPro battery.
Cool. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Thought that was pretty cool. Everybody came together for that.
I'll be making a video on it, and I rewatched the show, and to all those that donated and everything. I'll make a special video for y'all.
Yeah. Here we go. Sending a link now. So Brad is trying to log in, and he's having technical difficulties as well. Let's just send him one more email.
See, this is how this works, Robert. We got a show that is so good, we break the internet.
Yeah, kind of a sad story with the whole breaking the internet thing, because I pay pretty good money, a monthly subscription to Zoom. I need them to work. And I just before the show, I was typing like the cat meme, trying to get the information out there to the tech support. And they used, before Zoom was really famous, they used to talk to you pretty quick, and it'd be a live agent. It would be like, hold 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, boom. And then you'd be talking to somebody. Not so much now. Now they were like, go do your own research. Try to figure it out yourself.
If you're having a problem with our server, all you have to do is go to www.
Yes. Brad Gunnuscio, he's made it.
I made it.
You made it in. You beat the
Sorry.
odds.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. We're having technical difficulties, so don't feel too bad. I barely got the show up and running. The one that we have on the website was it's burnt because Zoom and YouTube didn't merge for some reason, so I had to do it a different way.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Same over here. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Robert broke the internet.
We
Yeah,
did it. We broke
right.
the internet.
We did it. Thanks
So
for
I'm-
having me on again, guys.
Yeah, I'm stoked to have you on. If you guys don't know who Brad Gunnuscio is, Brad runs an SIV course in Utah. He also has an amazing crib that if you go out the back door, you pull your wing up, you can launch and fly right off the mountain. It's amazing. He also has an Airbnb in his house. So if you time it right, you can get the Airbnb and then go SIV or just go fly right out of the back. It's a pretty amazing thing. Oh, is your spa area done downstairs and
Yeah.
upstairs?
Oh
Ooh,
yeah, that's all done. Got my hot tub.
nice.
And then look, you can see a guy on launch right there. And
Is that
then
a hang?
That's a hang, and then guy doing wing overs right here. I must like you guys a lot because I'm giving up an epic night.
Yeah.
Look at the guy doing wing overs right there.
Yeah, he doesn't even know
Awesome.
he's on TV.
No, he doesn't.
That's
How cool
awesome.
how cool is that?
Who is that?
I think that's either Arash or Austin
Dude, whoever that is, he's tearing it up.
with the Bonanza. Yeah. Then we got another
Nice.
guy out here. It's a beautiful night out here. Yeah, you guys will have to come out and visit again.
Is that
Yes.
free flying or motor?
That's
Oh,
free flying.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
all
it's a
free
mountain.
flying. Yeah.
It's
They're all
beautiful.
free flying. This hang glider's getting ready to launch. That's Dave. He's one of the neighbors. He's a airline pilot for Delta as well. And
Nice.
any night that he's free, he's out there trying to fly. So we're not trying. He does a good job of it. He is flying. But pretty awesome. And then tandem setting up, and the whole parking lot's full over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm stoked that you can make it, and I really appreciate you sacrificing a nice flying day to come talk to us. There's a whole bunch of people that are stoked to participate and watch. I got emails today from 2 different people that had questions for you for the show, which very rarely happens. And yeah, so I'm stoked about that. Also want to say that I appreciate you fighting through. I know you went through some things in the last couple of weeks or in the last month, and I'm glad that you're doing good and everything's good to go. And
yeah.
there's some guys that went through your course that are homies that I don't know if you know Brandon and Davis, and then
Yeah,
also another guy, Blake.
like
Yeah, Blake Pigeon came down there, and so he was just here with me, and he spoke very
neat.
highly of your course and everything that was going on over there. So
That's
so
wonderful. It
stoked
was
that you're
awesome
on the
to
show.
have them.
Yeah, they're good dudes, man. All of them. They're all fired up.
Yeah, and they did a great job. And uh, man, it's been one of those years, 2020, for all of us with Corona and just all the things going on. And then a big fire took off right across the street from where we launch.
Oh,
And
no kidding.
they didn't put up a TFR. The whole mountain was on fire, and like there's no TFR. And we put out NOTAMs every time we fly, and we go over there and like, okay, no TFR, so we might be good to go. And we go over there, and there's tanker planes dumping stuff, and spotter planes and helicopters. And it was like, yeah, definitely we're not flying. So it kind of shut us down. So that was unfortunate, but those guys are going to come back and see me, and we'll have some more fun.
Nice. Well, I
Yeah.
wanted to, let's dive right in. I already did the sponsor stuff. So
Good.
I want to dive right in and kind of pick up and start the conversation off about pitch control. And it's something that this is more just for me, and hopefully some other people can learn about it too. But
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about pitch control and how that on free flight, how you can work pitch control into your favor and get more out of your glide, more out of your glider, and maybe talk about integrating speed bar and just talk about that. You're an excellent pilot. By the way, if you guys don't know him, he competes in nationals, wins a lot. He's got tons of trophies under his belt. He's flying all the time. Incredible pilot. And I dare you to go watch the 2 other episodes that he's been on the show, and you can find out all kinds of details about Brad Gunnuscio.
Yeah, thank you. And I pitch control is an important part of paragliding. As a matter of fact, I put it at the most important part. Pitch control and surge control, it's the most important part of paragliding. And so my dad got me into hang gliding back in the day. He was a hang glider pilot in the 70s. And so I grew up hanging on his down tubes and watching him fly around. And so I got into hang gliding first, obviously. And then, when paragliding came on the scene, I was like, I will absolutely never do that. No one's ever going to talk me into doing that. It was just crazy when it first came out, and people were getting dragged all over the place, and nobody had any canopy control skills, and they were always tangled up. It just looked like they're always untangling stuff, and who wants to do that? So I was like, I'll never do that. And then once they got better control and started having ground handling skills, and then being able to swing them around in the sky, I totally did a 180 and was like, man, I have to do that. But one of the things that I didn't like about paragliding is getting out there and getting your nose lifted up and getting that high angle of attack that happens when you're entering a thermal or just from turbulence. And, on a hang glider, we would pull in and lower that angle of attack. And on a paraglider, it was always go hands up and just wait. And I always hated how susceptible you are, because we keep these gliders from deflating with pressure and active piloting. But if you have that high angle of attack and the wings behind you, any touch of the brakes is going to take it further back behind you. So it's, you can't really active pilot at that moment. So you're just kind of throwing your life up to luck right there, and the manufacturer of the glider. And so I didn't like that part of it. And so later on, I started really using the speed bar, and man, I loved it, going to races and some of these first races going to, and I just whizzed by people, and I was like, what, you guys don't use your speed bar? This is going to be easy, and then I learned real quick there's a lot more to it than just mash and bar. But I learned that you don't use the speed bar just for kicking butt in competitions and gliding, and most people just use their speed bar for emergency situations, and they don't ever even use it, and they're afraid of it. And so now they got something they're afraid of, and they get in an emergency situation. And then now they're supposed to go use this thing that they're afraid of, and it doesn't make any sense. And so I want people to be well versed on it and use their bar religiously and all the time, and use it for gliding. And number one thing I want you to use it for is for that pitch control. And so when you feel that wing start to go up and you get that nose high, just a little push on the bar, and it's amazing what just 10% will do, or 15%. It's not like you're mashing bar going pulley to pulley. It's just a little push and the glider will start to come forward. And all of a sudden, when I discovered that, I was like, yes, we do have pitch control on these gliders. It's just opposite of a hang glider. Hang glider, you pull in; for a paraglider, you push out. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, if you think about it, you're doing it with your brakes. Why not use both, right?
Yeah, yeah. And if you haven't been active piloting with your speed bar, you're missing a whole dimension of active piloting. And when it's really rowdy conditions and it's super turbulent, you can bet your ass I'm on that. I have my foot on the bar ready to go, just
Right.
all the time. I feel like it's dangerous without it. I've become so addicted to it. Like when I get up there, I'll get up there. And back in the day, to push it on the bar was a lot more. It would be like pushing on like 12 plates, 45 plates at the gym on a leg press. Like stuff was breaking all the time. It was so funny when I'd go to these countries in South America and I'd go for 3 months or something. I'd bring all this extra speed bar lines, soak kits, webbing. I was pulleys. I would bust the pulleys off of the risers, bust the pulleys out of the harness, break the speed bars. Now they've gotten so much more lighter pressure. It's incredible. And so you don't need all that stuff, and it's much easier to push on them. But going with bigger pulleys is a good thing, and it does make it smoother. And I do like going with bigger pulleys in the harness. And for the motor guys, I'm getting the motor guys to get speed bars on as well. You just want a tight speed bar, obviously, and you don't want a speed bar dangling that could go back into your prop or something like that. But once you get used to it with free flight, people don't want to let it go. They rig it up on their motor as well.
Oh, interesting.
And I like it on the motor too, because, we used to fly with trimmers, and I got trimmers on all sorts of gliders. And I remember, back in the day on these old comp gliders, that if you had trimmers open and you took a deflation, you fell out of the sky, the glider wouldn't recover unless you pulled those trimmers in. So now you're cascading out of the sky, and I'd be reaching up and grabbing trimmers to get it back to fly. Well, you know what? A lot of these reflex motor gliders are the same.
Oh, interesting.
They don't want to recover unless you get those trimmers in. And so why not just go with a speed bar where if something happens, you can immediately come off and you don't have to take your hands off the brakes, and you can continue to do what you're doing.
That's something that we have never talked about on this show, is that when you get into an event, you're having to release or pull the trimmers in to refix everything. That's a very important thought right there.
Oh, it's super. And it's harder too, because it could be there's not a lot of tension in the wing. And so I've gone and pulled on them, and you're just pulling the risers down, and there's not a lot of pressure pulling back on them to pull them in. So it does get interesting. So I just urge pilots to be careful flying around with those trimmers fully open on your gliders, and to only do it high. Don't be flying around. I think we're flying around low with trimmers fully open. I know it's not a popular way to think, but I'm like, I want to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
And I want people to be safe. I want people to do it for a long time. And so
in free flight world, we're stomping on the speed bar, and when you're on speed bar, you're very active piloting. You're very conscious about what's happening. Like when I'm crossing and I'm on full bar, I'm thinking in my mind, like, okay, this is when it's going to go away. This is the, my angle of attack is strong, and I'm getting ready to, if something's going to go bad, it's going to go bad like this. That's the same as having your trimmers out.
Well, you can't be too afraid of it, because your glider with the speed bar has been certified. If it's a B glider, it's certified. It's gone through the maneuvers with the pulleys touching. So I want you to have confidence. So at the course, I have people come up and do all the maneuvers with the pulleys touching. Okay. Wow. Just because I'm like, if you can handle it and fly the glider with the pulleys touching, imagine how easy it's going to be on trim.
Right.
you know, and so it's going to be much easier. And so I don't want you to be afraid of it. I don't want you to think of it like this is when it's going to go bad, because actually your glider has a lot more energy and airspeed in it. And that first 30-40% of your speed bar usage, your glider is less prone to taking a deflation. It's only when you're getting to the bottom end of your speed bar usage to where it's getting, you know, you're lowering that angle of attack, and when it goes, you're going so fast, it's just going to be more dynamic. And so just think of it that it's going to be more dynamic. But the thing is, you wouldn't be holding that bar on. You would be coming off.
Right. Exactly.
Really quick.
Yeah. So if you go, if you're on a motor, and a lot of guys that watch the show are motor guys, obviously, that's something that you're going to have to consider, that if you're flying around and things start to go haywire, you need to bring them back in.
Yeah. Well, and if it's rowdy and thermic, there's no way people should be flying around with those trimmers open anyway.
Don't let them out.
Just leave them in. You know, I'm always asking these motor guys, like, what are we trying to achieve? Because I feel like they're taking these motor wings and making them faster and faster. And it's like, they're for pylon racing. And how many of these guys are actually going out and pylon racing?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
How many people are actually doing it? There's only a few. And so leave that for the pylon racers. The part about paragliding I really like is actually how slow we can go.
Right.
And how we get to take in the views.
Low and
we
slow.
Get to go, and we get to check stuff out and fly by cliffs, and like I'll chase, you know, big herds of bighorn sheep up cliffs, and just all this stuff that you can do, that if you're in a hang glider or a plane, you just flew right by it and you missed everything.
Yeah.
Right? So it is kind of the cool part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that I've been talking to. I don't know if you caught this episode. I don't remember what number it was, but we had a guy from National Geographic, and George Steinmetz came on.
Cool.
He came on the show, man. And he's like, yeah, I love the paramotor. And he goes, before drones, he goes, paramotor shots that was the ticket. And he started just showing us all these pictures. It was incredible. So it's a good show to go back and watch if you.
I'll have to go check it out.
Squeeze out a minute. I know you're a busy dude.
Because I love photography with paragliding, free flight, or motoring, or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll really dig that video.
It's amazing our views we get to see.
Yeah, the guy's super cool. By the way, we should have him on again. Moderators, remind me. We'll reach out to him one more time. I want to talk a little bit about. I got an email, and I want to just give a shout out to a guy named Kurt. And I'm just going to read his email directly. He said, request. He said, I hope you can ask him about harnesses. I know a girl who took his SIV and said his instruction for adjusting harnesses was very helpful to her, and that he seemed especially knowledgeable about that. As you've seen in the San Diego banter, several are considering something new. This is a conversation about harnesses. His thoughts may be helpful. It would be interesting to hear him speak about pods, seat boards, and all harness related stuff. He's seen a lot with his SIV course about common mistakes and myths about that stuff. Thanks for considering.
Yeah.
And that was Kurt.
Harnesses are a big thing. Those pod harnesses are a lot more complicated than people think. Okay. And most people, they show up and they're totally not adjusted correctly. You really need two people to do it. If I get a new harness, I need somebody to come over. Usually I love it if they're the same height as me, so I can get them in there and I can just kind of get it set, because people don't adjust them right. You need to go through and make sure, a lot of it's making sure that, you know, all those support straps in the thing are tensioned. All your lines going to the footboard are tensioned. The angle of the pod harness is correct. You know, I like to angle the harness. If it's a lower performing glider, I angle it lower. And as it comes up in performance, I bring it up higher to where an Enzo is almost just straight. Okay. And so you wouldn't believe, just sitting here, you know, people are flying by right now at my window, and how many times I see people flying by with their feet up over their head. So if you got your feet over your head, it doesn't matter, pod harness, open harness. If you take a deflation, you're already almost upside down. Now you're going to definitely be upside down. So now you're going to have to deal with whatever's going on upside down. It's already hard enough when you're sitting straight up. you know, and then also you're more prone to riser twist. So getting the angle of the footboard is important too, you know, and a lot of these harnesses as well, you get them all set and they just don't make the straps strong enough for your adjusting area. They'll slide on you or slip. And so like my harness, I'll get it set to where I like it, and then I'll stitch it a couple stitches to lock it in. Because the worst, I've been up there and gone through an episode and you come out and one side of your harness is completely open, the other side, and then you're flying asymmetric. So I like to get it set, but they're getting better at it. My current harness right now doesn't really slip or anything, but I still, you know, when we're flying at the World Championships, the US team is taking tape measures and they're measuring everything to the millimeter and making sure everything is symmetric all the way through.
Oh,
and
wow.
we'll go through and just kind of check it out, your harness throughout the competition, and make sure things are opening and sliding, because they will, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the pods will stretch too as well, you know, and so you'll need to bring them in. And so it's crazy what a few adjustments in your harness will change how you fly. You know, one of the big things that I'm seeing right now, to be honest, is people are flying with these wide, super wide chest straps. And I love that for flying aerobatics. And we used to do that for flying cross country because the gliders wouldn't turn. You couldn't get them to budge when you went to turn. So you open the chest straps. Now these gliders have such good handling. They almost have too good at handling. You don't need to do that anymore. So pilots need to start bringing in that chest strap a bit. And I always say, I like my risers to come down and be connected on the side of my hips. So that's how far in I bring my chest strap. And so people do the arm thing. I don't really believe in the arm thing. I think it's bogus.
So that's this distance from
arm,
here to here.
Because my arm isn't even close. My hips are wider than that. And so I think it's your hips, not your arm, that matter, you know? And so open it up and play with that adjustment and bring in what feels good to you. That open, sloppy feel, I don't feel like I can thermal very good when I have that, you know? I want to be in connection with the whole wing, with the hips as I'm thermaling.
Great information, man.
Yeah.
So when you talk about sewing, are you doing the sewing yourself? Do you have a sewing machine, and are you?
Yeah, I got a sewing machine, and most of the time I'm hand stitching stuff.
Okay, I do a lot of hand stitching too.
I'll just hand stitch stuff. If it's something, but I'll sew stuff up. If it's a big deal, I just take it down to my friend Justin White down there at Cloud9. He's really good at, and people should know that too, if you need your wing repaired. Like he does some amazing work down there.
I've heard him.
Harnesses, all that stuff. So if it's something major, I'll just take it down to him and get him. So, you know, even if you're out of state or something, if you can't find someone, or if you have a technical thing repaired on your wing, like he'll take and put leading edges back on them, sew wings back that have been cut in half, all this stuff, and do it right where you can't even tell it's been done.
Oh,
and
wow.
So if you have something technical that needs to be done, probably ship it over to Justin at Cloud9.
He'd be a rad guy to have on the show. What's his name?
Justin White. Yeah, he's really good. You know,
What is it, Cloud9?
Folding, yeah, and folding the regalos and stuff like that. Still, I don't feel confident folding regalos, so I have him do mine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got around. I did learn how to fold around, but
Good.
those
Good.
regalos are probably weird.
You need to come up and chuck it and see how good you did.
Yeah, I know, right?
I like to haul people up 300, 500 feet, have them huck it out, just see how quick that bad boy opens, and
Yeah.
check out your pack job and see if you want to do it again, or if you want to get someone else doing it.
I want to. I actually bought another reserve, so I'm thinking if I shift gears and get a harness with two. Yeah. Oh, so I was going to ask you, what harness are you flying with?
I'm flying with the Woody Valley X-rated 7. I've had that for years, but people call it the X-rated 7.5 because I've done so many modifications.
Oh,
My
yeah.
friends are like, man, it's pretty. I love how you buy the most expensive top of the line shit and then take it and cut it up. And I do. I cut it and
Sew
change
it and
and
add-
sew and add
yeah.
stuff and change it. But I've had to repair it a bunch, and I do love that harness. It's good, but there are some quirks about it. I'm hoping, you know, that I've flown Woody Valley harnesses for years. From the X-rated 1, you know, and all the way up. And so this one is the best one yet, but it's suede. And so I get hot a lot. And so I'm always sweating when I land in that harness. So I'm hoping they fix that. And it's got really thin stuff. So it's not the best one. I'm figuring the next one I'm going to go to will be a new Cortel Cannibal, but those things are huge. And so the harness that I really, really like, that I'm excited about, that I want people to get, that are getting into pods to look at, is the Sup Air Skyper, the new Skyper from Sup Air. It has a spot for two reserves. And so it comes with 2 flight decks. So if you don't want to have a flight deck with a reserve in it, you can just zip it out and put in a normal flight deck. It comes with all the bells and whistles.
Oh, nice.
It's really nice. And it's not huge like mine, and those giant race harnesses are just so big. People look at you need a special bag for it almost. And so this is a nice harness. It has a spot for your anti-G chute, really good pockets, really good adjustments. I've been so stoked because this is the best harness I've seen for, just your intermediate pilots and even advanced pilots.
So have you flown one yet?
Yes, I have. I've test flown it. It feels really good.
Oh, okay.
And I've sold a bunch of them, and everybody just loves it.
Really?
I feed off when I sell something to someone. I'm always like, how do you like your gear? How do you like it? And they just absolutely love it.
So I'm on the Woody Valley X Alps.
Okay.
Yeah, and I love it. And Tony Boyer, he has one that is in really good condition. He's about to step up. I think he ordered the Cortel. I could be wrong, but he is stepping up a notch. He went up to the M7, and so he's gonna go more fairing.
Cool, that Cortel Cannibal.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So he's all fired up, and we just both of us had a pretty good little XC. We flew from Lake Elsinore over to Saboba. It's like 40 miles or something like that.
That's awesome.
But
Beautiful
flight. We were super low the whole time. Well, I was. My Vario died right as I was leaving over the lake. I have a super old Vario, but I still made it. Yeah.
That's why I always fly with a backup.
Yeah, and I do have a backup on my phone, and I thought I even said it in the video. I'm like, I'll turn it on if I need it, and I was able. I don't know.
You pulled that off though, huh?
I pulled it off. Super fun. I like to fly with no Vario every once in a while when I'm at Blossom.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
One of the guys in the on Messenger message, and I'll just read his. And this is from Robert Durbin. He's a longtime supporter of the show. He's a Patreon since way back. He said, I saw your. He said, I saw you're having Brad on tonight. He said, I was at his SIV clinic 2 weeks ago. He said, Big Dog Rob. He said, anyhow, I noticed there are unique challenges for getting towed as a full-size American on a PPG wing. That would be a good discussion point to make the audience aware of. So he's obviously wanting to discuss that. He's a bigger guy. Maybe talk a little bit about that and how that plays out.
Well, what happens just because people are so overloaded on these paramotor wings, and they trim them so fast anyways. And so we just had, when he was here, it was super, super hot. So we're talking 100 degrees, and then overloaded on a small wing. So the boat's already hauling butt to stay ahead of a normal paraglider. And then you get these fast guys. So he was having to ride the brakes pretty good to get some altitude, and still he came back lower on that wing. And part of it too is our tow assist that we do. We have a tow assist. I don't really like to call it a tow assist. I like to call it a launch assist, because that's what it's really for. And so what it does is it does attach to the speed bar, and it's pulling speed as they're going. And so we were getting better tows once we got him dialed on his launches, and are like, okay, you're not doing crazy things on launch. We'll go ahead and get rid of this launch assist. And then we were getting higher tows. But that was kind of it. It was kind of bad luck being triple degree temperatures, thin air, and then just kind of a sinky day. We weren't getting the super high tows that day, anybody. It was like it was just one of those sink days. Some days everybody's going to the end of the line. It's 6,000 feet of line, and we're running out of line, and they're way out there. So it just
wow.
kind of depends on the day and the weather.
It was a high pressure day too, probably.
Yeah, high pressure, and I think there was just a lot of sink where we were. We were just in a big sink fest. Yeah.
Nice.
But
so
still,
that's
he was
something
able
to
to
consider.
get up. Yeah, but he was able to get up, and I told him, and because he was such a big guy and overloaded, I have other wings. So when we were going out the next day, I gave him a bigger wing that he was going to try as well. I was like, hey, if it's sinky again today, we'll just put you on a bigger wing. Everything will translate over. And so I always recommend that too to people coming out for the course. Bring extra gear. If you can borrow a bigger wing, bring a smaller wing. Or people say, I have 3 wings, but I left them all at home. And I'm like, well, they don't help us at home. You know, bring all your wings in case there is a chance you go in the water, you have other gear to fly, you know, and stuff like that.
Excellent. Let's get, let me talk to, oh, you know what? Let's do a giveaway real quick. Shawn, are you ready to spin the wheel?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen these yet, we made these neck gaiters for paragliding talk. So they're really nice. I think Craig's wearing one. Yeah. Paraglidingtalk.com. If you wear it just, oh, you don't have one?
No, I'll win it. Don't worry.
You'll win it.
I'll win it. You know, my roommate, I got a new roommate here, Jimbo, who's a pilot from Texas, who's now staying with me. And he had a shirt on, the Paragliding Talk shirt that he won from you guys.
Oh yeah, that's where it's at.
He was all excited about it. Tried to get me to wear it for the show, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm fitting in that thing.
Yeah.
All right, Robert,
right,
we're having a technical difficulty. I need you to allow me to share my screen here.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, boss.
It's all good, buddy. It's all good.
Let me see if I can do
I
this
got this wheel on lockdown as long as you let me spin it, because there might be somebody popping in as soon as I go to spin it. Then it's like, you know.
Try it
Yeah.
now.
Shawn, I'm surprised that I haven't seen anything in the chat. Wondering if you've where your hair is lately.
Here we go. Y'all see the screen?
Yep.
See
Ready?
See it.
It's spinning. Ready?
Yeah.
Whoop. All right, here we go.
I need it. Brad, what size shirt do you wear, by the way?
XL.
XL. I need to get you a paraglidingtalk.com
awesome.
t-shirt right away.
Yeah, that'd be
Immediately.
great. That'd be great. I'll wear it.
Oh, Johnny. Congratulations,
Johnny. Yeah,
Johnny.
way to
Johnny.
go, Johnny.
Johnny won a couple weeks ago. He's on a roll.
I know, it was
Is
pretty
this
close,
the same
man.
Johnny?
I think so, yeah.
How many Johnnies you got on there?
We got a handful of them.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the chat?
How many necks does he have?
I guess I could just click on this and see what everybody's saying. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see the chat. I want to apologize. Oh my gosh. Blake Pigeon donated $60 to the super chat. Thank you for letting me borrow your radio the other day. I didn't mean to lose the screw when I flew into the bush at the bailout. So stoked Brad is on tonight. Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Pigeon.
awesome. Hey, Blake. How you doing, buddy?
Great to meet you, by the way, Blake. That was super fun. We got to fly Blossom together, and he didn't have a radio, and so I just, I always bring an extra radio. By the way, bring a radio. Everybody, or bring an extra radio. If I can encourage you to do something when you're coming out to fly, bring an extra one, because there's always like one guy that's got, oh, I forgot to charge it, or what. I made it happen. I always bring one.
Good job. And now that those Baofengs have come down to where you can get one for $25.
Yeah, exactly.
And just so you know, everybody, that a Baofeng has a bad name. Everyone talks bad about them, but it's because they come out of the box with a bad setting. And I wish everyone would go change it. But if you go into your menu and look at the PTT-LT, so that's push to talk latency, they come out of the box set at 5. So that's like 5 seconds you got to push, and it pauses until they can hear what you're saying. And so that's why they don't work for anyone. So you got to set it to 0 so there's no latency.
Really? Oh, that is great information.
Yeah, so just go into your menu, find PTT-LT, take it from 5 to 0, and all of a sudden you have a good radio.
How do you get the hookup? Sorry, how do you get the hookup so you can hear in both ears? Is there adapters or anything like that you can get?
I do 2 radios because I want redundancy. If one radio goes out, I want the other one to work. If a pilot's keying on one mic, they can hear in the other. So I do 2 radios, 2 headsets, but that would be good. I'm sure you could get an adapter for that, and for me, for flying cross country, I just use Bluetooth because I'm usually got a couple radio frequencies going. And so I use Bluetooth, and I got 2 mics in my helmet coming down. I got 2 buttons on my risers, and it's very clean and clear.
When you say it's on your risers, is it a line through your glove to your helmet?
No, I don't like that because you accidentally push the button. No, it's just a button I attach right to my riser.
That's Bluetooth.
That's a Bluetooth. I push the button and it activates my mic.
Nick was talking about that. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah.
I have that too. We use it through the Zello app. It's like the push to talk when smartphones were getting smart. They were still, phones were still push to talk. Anyway, we use the app and we use the button. Kind of cool.
That's awesome. So I bought so many different paragliding versions of it, and I was always disappointed and always complicated. And so I was like, what are the motorcycle riders doing? And so I just buy what the motorcycle riders, the Cena unit, that the motorcycle riders, they're driving 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
Work, and you don't have to have some special charger for it. It's just USB, and it's just more simple and always works 100% of the time. Instead, I was always having trouble with these paragliding versions of it.
That's a great idea. Also, I think a lot of the paramotor guys use the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, Cena.
Yeah.
Why not?
And then when you did you have to do some modifications for your helmet? You had to obviously cut out some of the foam on the inside and maybe hot glue it in, or
no, it just comes with a very thin ear speaker that you just put in with Velcro. It's very thin. You don't have to modify at all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you just put the Velcro on the back of the speaker thing and stick it right on the foam itself. Like it stays right in place.
And since I have 2 of those going, I just use one speaker and I cut off the other speaker. And so I have it here, and then I got another Cena unit on this side, because I'm usually, a lot of times when I'm doing my cross country course, I'll have 4 frequencies going.
Oh, wow.
So I'll have those 2, and then I'll have 2 others right here.
Oh my gosh.
When you're just being a mother goose up there directing everybody.
Okay. I was going to say, are you doing airband too, or just 2 different frequency?
No, all different frequencies on just the ham radios.
Okay, got it.
That's a lot of frequencies. No wonder you're wearing sunglasses. You got all that frying in between your ears.
Yeah. It's bright coming in through here. My house is all windows.
Yeah. I love your house, by the way, man. Such a rad view, and just it's incredible. Really like it.
If you're ever here, you have to do the show from here. Sometime that'd be kind of cool when you come back. And visit,
I think we were talking about it last time, because I was there on a Thursday night, but I was on such a mission to go fly, but didn't work out.
That's a hard thing. It's hard, but it's good to fly. You want to go.
Yeah. We've had a handful of really good days this last season, and we've had some really big sends and just having a blast. So
I love Blossom, and I love Lake Elsinore. I've flown up there.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I haven't been to San Diego in a long time, but I've flown those places. And they did a comp at Nationals once, and it was Marshall and Elsinore. We were using both those launches. So that was really fun. I just remember crossing that lake and getting low on the other side in suburbia and all that stuff that you were just talking about, and kind of cruising around that. It's really fun.
Oh, it was such a blast. 3rd of July. So I had the day off. Oh, look at that. Mom donated $20 to the super chat. Thanks, Mom. Really appreciate everybody that supports the show, by the way. The Nebraska PBG, Josh Bowden, he has a school in Nebraska. If you want to check him out, go. There's a link in the description. Also, the show's brought to you by the Tri-State Skywalkers. If you're in the Ohio, Kentucky, or Indiana area, Brandon McCloud's the guy to reach out to. Get involved in a flying club. It'll help your flying, and it'll make you a better pilot in the long run. If you're interested in starting something, you can reach out to Brandon, and he'll get you rolling. Also, the show's brought to you by iFly Indiana Powered Paragliding. If you're flying paramotors and you're wanting to get some better training, no better place to get proper training. iFlyIndiana.com. Kevin and his team will get your feet off the ground. Also, Lone Star Paramotor, Ron Turan, he's got a great school in Texas. Go check them out. They're sponsors of the show. And I want to encourage anybody, if you're watching this and you're thinking about taking the leap into getting involved, go check out these guys' websites and talk to them. They've got some great stuff, like Brad's SIV course. He's got some incredible talent for teaching SIV, and everybody I talk to highly recommended. There's a link in the description to his Facebook. Do you have a website, Brad?
Yeah, it's sivclinic.com.
sivclinic.com.
Yeah.
SIV.
And it is a lot of fun. And I feel like, you know, our training is okay, but it could be better. Our training that we teach brand new students. And so I'm trying to fill in the gaps and help people, because I feel like we get enough information to go out and hurt ourselves. And so as soon as you get signed off, people have this, there's this myth out there, you need experience before coming. And I don't agree with it. I think as soon as you get signed off, or even before that, you should come out and do a course, and I'll fill in the gaps to give you so much information that you're going to be able to fly with confidence and actually know what you're doing out there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important, because you can't pick up the phone and call somebody and ask a question when the shit's hitting the fan, so to speak. And so it's nice to know what's going on.
Yeah. I looking back, cause I did it the wrong way. I self-trained, and I put myself through a lot of stress that I didn't need to.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money at that time to be able to do an SIV or get the actual proper training even. And so everybody that you talk to, when you try to go that route, everybody's trying to talk to you like you're going to die, and everything that you do, oh, that can kill you, this can kill you, and that can kill you.
Oh,
So
God.
there's a lot of anxiety involved in trying to self-teach. So if you're watching this and you're considering you're trying to maybe teach yourself, do yourself a huge favor and just save up the money and get the proper training, because it's a world of difference. Now that I've been through it, I would, 100% get some training.
People put it at 3 years of experience that you'll get. How much would you pay for 3 years of experience?
Right.
You know, I'll give you 3 years of experience in 3 days.
Yeah.
And so the last course we did, I've already had 2 guys contact me and go, I've already used your training. And that was just the course 2 weeks ago with Robert Durbin. And I'm like, man, I love that when you guys hit me up and tell me that, you know, and they're thanking me for the course and they've already used it. And it's like, hey, I took a big asymmetric and I knew exactly what to do, because I did it 100 times at your course. And I love that. We also had 2 F-35 pilots in the course.
Oh, really?
Cool. Yeah.
That is
and they
cool.
they said it was one of the funnest days of their life up there towing. So they just had a blast. And like, man, they're so stoked. They're ecstatic. And so not only do you learn a lot, but you're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I mean, they're flying fighter jets.
Yeah,
but
I know. I'm like, how does this even compare to that? You know, I'd rather be on the fighter jet myself.
I know, me too.
They always say the same thing though, that there's too many rules.
Oh, right.
You know, you can go where you want with the paraglider, and they're free and no cockpit, and you can see. And then they love the G-forces too that they can get from the spirals.
Speaking of our military, Resurgence PBG, Craig, are you available to do some promo and maybe give us some updates on flying conditions?
I definitely am. Resurgence PBG is a 501c3 nonprofit for veterans by veterans. Their mission is to provide an opportunity for emotionally and physically adaptive, capable veterans and warriors to overcome personal challenges through adaptive sports participation. Please consider a small donation to help, even $1 if you can. If you can't and you are ordering from Amazon, please use smile.amazon.com. Also, Smile now works with the regular Amazon app on your phone. If you happen to know a veteran that could benefit from this fantastic organization, please visit their website, Resurgence PPG, and nominate that veteran for an opportunity at a life-changing adventure through paramotor or paragliding. Also, don't forget to stop by paraglidingtalk.com and fill out the nomination form for the Freedom of Flight Leadership Award. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact rules, but I guess I couldn't nominate Robert Michiels for that.
Nope.
But everybody else is fair game. And check your NOTAMs and TFRs. There is a presidential TFR Saturday, July 11th in the Portsmouth, New Hampshire area for those friends and flyers up there.
Awesome. Craig Taylor, thank you. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank
I-
you very much.
I didn't ask him to mention that. And so thank you, because I totally forgot about the Freedom of Flight Leadership Award. So actually, Brad Gunnuscio got nominated. He's one of the nominees. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
we've got we got the Freedom of Flight Leadership Award, and this is an award that goes out to somebody who's made a positive impact into the flying community in whatever wide range. And so if you go to the website paraglidingtalk.com, you can click the nominate button, and then it'll kick you down a couple little things. You just fill those out, and then we're going to gather all that information. We're going to find out whoever had the most nominations, and then we're going to have a discussion between the leaders, Craig Taylor, Sean, all the moderators, and then we're going to come to a conclusion who's going to get that award. And Brad Gunnuscio is one of them. I just saw it come through the other day.
Wow, whoever nominated me, thank you so much. I
Yeah,
really appreciate it. I do put my heart and soul into paragliding. It's like it's the one thing I'm good at
yeah.
in life.
Right. Heck yeah,
I suck
man.
at everything else.
Yeah.
Robert, your mother had a question in the chat.
Oh, she did.
She said, "What's your hat say?"
Oh, what does my hat say? It says AR. This is for it's a plumbing company, and this is it's called American Roto, and they're a good plumbing company. Yeah, but
I'm gonna have to get you a SIV clinic hat.
What? All right, we'll make a trade. I'll send a shirt.
We'll make a trade.
Yeah,
we'll make a trade.
Yeah, I'll send you the Paragliding Talk shirt.
I got those cool flat ones too, flat brim ones too.
Okay.
So I'll have to get you one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll send you a couple so you can hand them out as well as one of the gifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. Nothing more fun in life than giving away free stuff, other people's free stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Much more fun.
Yeah. So I want to just squeak out a few more questions, because you always have such good stuff. And we've talked about this, and I want to tell you, there is a fresh, like vibrant, people are fired up to go do SIVs, and I'm going to be doing one too in just a couple weeks.
Are you dope?
Yeah, I'm going with Max, and he wanted me to film some stuff. So we're going to do like an exchange thing. I'm going to film, and he's going to do some brotos.
Super cool.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
If you need, I'm sorry, if you need a guinea pig or something. You know.
Guinea pig, yeah. So my question is, what can people expect when they're going to be going to an SIV? And you don't have to specifics on just your SIV, but in general, what can they expect? What should they bring? What are people forgetting most often? And what do you have for those guys?
Yeah. So when you come, I'm always like, bring all your flying gear. People will show up with a wing that they don't fly. They'll be like, hey, I usually fly a pod harness, but I thought I'd leave that home and borrow something else, an open harness for the SIV. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. We want to simulate as close as we can to real life when you're flying. So we try to keep the gear all the same. And we're going to go through, and I have them sit in a simulator and go through their harness and get a fitting, is what I call it, and get it super adjusted super correctly for them, and then mark the settings for them usually so that they know where my settings are. And then I have them deploy the reserve as well and teach them all about reserves, and they have a way better understanding of what to do, because it's not just huck your reserve and the ride's over. There's a lot that you still need to do. and how we throw our reserve, and that whole reserve talk takes hours to do, to really go over just the kind of all the different scenarios that why we would be throwing and how we're going to do it, you know. And then so I have them throw, and so I can see them extract the reserve out of the harness. And just so you know, I have had a couple people that can get the reserve out of their harness here in my kitchen, but when we get out in the lake and under duress with high G's, they're not able to get it out of there. And every time I've had that happen is when it's a seat boardless harness. So I've lost all love in seat boardless harnesses.
Interesting.
Okay. Because the seat boardless harness, it's like you're a rock in a sock, and there's nothing to protect you from sitting on your reserve. And so they're just concaving onto the reserve and making it really tight. I'm also don't like how the harnesses are going really tight containers for these reserves either. That's just ridiculous to me. We need it so when the pilot pulls the pin, that the flaps open like a Bombay door, and that there's no way you can keep that thing in there. You know, and so be very particular about your harness when you go and get them, and go look at that. Take your reserve, look at the size of your reserve, look at the size of the, if you have to squash and squeeze and you almost stand jumping up and down on the reserve to get it in, are you going to be able to get that thing out under duress? No. And so, you know, be aware of that. And like pilots will go to a new harness and they're like, you know, they sit in it. Is it comfortable? That's the first thing they do. I go to the reserve compartment first, because if it's a bad reserve system and I don't like it, I don't care if it's the most comfortable harness in the world, I'm not going to get it. I don't want to know how good it is, how comfortable it is. Okay. So be aware of your reserve, of your reserve compartments. And so we check all that stuff out. And then we like to go through, you know, a big important part of my course too is I teach pilots how to stop this stuff from happening. I don't care how many SIVs, and just so you guys know, we use SIV, the term, because that's the acronym that people, that they know. But I don't really like to call it that. I call it a safety course. And that's what I really like to call it, is just a safety course. So we go over all aspects of your flying, from your launching to landing to active piloting. And then what happens when the stuff goes, how do we handle it? You know? And so my first course I ever went to, I showed up, nobody taught me how to tow. I got yorked into the sky. I was freaked out by the tow the whole time. Then a voice on this radio told me, pull this, pull that. And I fell out of the sky, out of control. I finally blocked out the instructor, got it under control on my own, and then landed, and it was a slap on the ass, and I left with less confidence than when I had shown up. And so that's why I built my course opposite of that. And so we do a lot of talking. And so I give the pilots 2 to 3 maneuvers to work on, and then we talk about it after. And I don't like to wing it and just go up and try new stuff over the radio. Like, I want to go over it in detail on the ground. But active piloting is an art. And so I'm trying to teach these guys how to active pilot and keep the wing open, because it doesn't matter how many safety courses you've done. If you're losing your wing all the time and taking deflations all the time, you're not going to fly with confidence. We need to be able to keep those wings open, you know? And so I'm teaching, like, if you take a deflation, you log it as a mistake. You made a mistake. We shouldn't be taking them. Okay. And so they'll happen, you know, and it'll be like, I want you to be like, okay, that was a mistake. What did I feel before leading up to it? What didn't I do? What could I have done? You know, and analyze it, every mistake that you make, and go, okay, I'm going to be quicker on it, and I'm not going to let it happen again. You know, and so all the way through, and you can expect pilots, you know, we have pilots of all different experience levels. Like that last course, we had people doing acro to people doing brand new stuff. I love it. The mix. I love the brand new pilots to see people doing acro and see what is possible and getting up and getting after it, you know. And so that makes it more fun for me when people are doing acro as well. And so whatever whatever level you're at, we're going to work on and try to push you to learn more stuff and expand your comfort zone at whatever level you're at, to the point we'll teach you how to infinite tumble if you get to that level, you know.
Yeah, that's excellent. Have you gone there? Have you gone full infinite tumble?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a whole different level.
Infinite tumble. Yeah,
nice.
There's a YouTube show if anyone wants to see it. It's pretty fun that I put together. That was my I had infinite tumbled without any control. And so after falling in my wing 2 times and not knowing how to exit and stuff, I went back and totally slowed down and started rhythmicking. And so my first in control infinite tumbles, I put on a video. It's called the Brad and Pete Show on YouTube. And you can
Somebody
see
needs to
those.
find that right away.
And it's pretty fun. And I edited it to it with the video, and it's like the angels are singing, and we did an infinite run, and we were doing double toes, so it's air to air footage, a lot of it.
Oh, nice.
It's the Brad and Pete Show, yeah. And we did one session through an eclipse, which was pretty cool too. It wasn't a full eclipse, but it was pretty neat to be infinite tumbling during that.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
There's a question that came up in the chat, and I'm interested in what you think. They have these strobe lights that you drop in the pockets in the corners of your wings. And then it connects Bluetooth. You mount one on your helmet, and then the other 2 go on your ends. What's your thoughts about that? And have you had any experience with that?
Putting strobes in your wing
in your
tips?
wing? Yep.
I think it's a cool idea. I put lots of lights in my wing. I think it's really fun to do. Yeah, light it up. You know, I have a whole LED wing. So if I go to a place where, or I can get permission to fly at night, or a country where I have a wing that's fully filled with LEDs that lights up.
No kidding.
And they've gotten better and better. I have a new lights, and we're gonna be doing a new wing here in a couple weeks. Yeah, and so it's totally white, so it's just going to light up bright.
That's
I think
cool.
that would be so fun to go at nighttime and do acro.
Yeah, what do you get? How did you make that happen? Light lines down to a battery that's on a riser? Or?
You know, now they've gotten so good that you can do it without a big battery. That's how I usually do it, a big battery on the bottom.
Yeah.
But this new set, I'm going to put the battery pack is light enough. I'm going to just put it up in the wing.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess
in the center,
some of the question was leaning more towards on safety. Is there no issue as far as aerodynamics or anything? Is something?
Well, anytime you put something in your wingtips, I was going to the fun part, not the safety part. Yeah, anytime you're putting something in your wingtips, if you take a deflation or something, that's something that could cravat that might not come out. So if you take a deflation and there's going to be a little more weight in it, I mean, I've done glow sticks up there and we have wrist, but anytime you just got to know, anytime you're putting something in your wingtip, you want to go as small as you can, because something big, you take a deflation and then it just gets on the other side through a cascade and then it's just jammed in there. It might be something you have to land with and might not be able to get out, but normally you could get that out, you know? And so doing the strobe on the, you know, I have a strobe in here just to get that extra 20 minutes of airtime. We'll do the strobe and just hang it from us. And I think that looks good. That's just fine, you know? Yeah, and that's that video. Seems like it's a little choppy, but that's pretty fun. Nothing's more fun towing than towing with your buddy.
I always forget how to do the proper share, so it's probably all chopped up, but we'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, good.
If you guys
it's kind of fun. And at the end, it's really fun. It ends with a reserve toss by my buddy filming, who's just so excited from seeing infinite tumbles. He just gets a little over excited and hucks a low energy turn. And
nice.
Pete, shout out to Sweet Pete. Love that guy.
Sweet Pete.
Sweet Pete.
I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. And we're going to go to the after show. We're at that 7:00 mark. Thank you for all the sponsors that sponsor the show. Really appreciate you. The show would not be what it is without your investment. If you won something from the show, so Johnny, you won the deal, the NetGator. If you go to the website, please fill out the contact information. Send me your address, and I will ship that out to you. I think last week we talked, Craig Taylor's going to order us another batch. He ordered us the first batch, so I think he's going to get us another one. So we may have some more available. I want to give give more of those away because they're really nice to have right now. If you support the show on Patreon or PayPal, really appreciate you. Your investment goes towards the future of the show and what we're doing and the giveaways and all that stuff. And it pays for some of my flying stuff. And so I really appreciate that. And if you want to jump on board and invest in something as wonderful as paragliding and flying safely and other people learning stuff that might save their life, go to Patreon. There's a link in the description, and you can also do it on PayPal. So thank you so much for your support. And Brad, thank you so much again for coming on. It's always a pleasure. And I hope that we'll get you some more, get some people out there to get under tow with you and get learning.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on the show. And everyone, just fly safe, fly high, fly safe, make smart decisions, because I want to fly with you all again in the near future.
Yeah, and by the way, the invitation's open to come as soon as all this craziness is gone. You come fly with us in SoCal.
I will. I used to do every winter. I would do a trip there. So in the winter, when it's not good flying here, that's a time I'll come down and visit with you guys.
All right, brother.
Thank you so much, and say hi to Max for me.
Oh, okay, I will for sure. Now we're going to go to the after show, so that just stick around for just a second. If you're one of the Patreon supporters, you can join the after show. Just put your information in the description. One of the moderators will get your email, and it stays blanked, so not the whole internet doesn't get to see it, and then we'll send you an invitation. So thanks for watching. If I don't see you in the air, I'll see you on the air. Thanks for watching.